Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Well, today I want to talk about one of the most fascinating and some would say frightening facets of this research into the alien phenomenon and the ongoing cover-up over the years of it. What many of the doctors who have attempted to remove these things, all the way to the scientists who then receive these objects and then attempt to analyze them, the consensus is clear, which is that there are foreign objects, not of this earth, that have been found implanted under the skin, within the muscles, and around the bodies of countless individuals here around the globe. The question of alien implants and just what they are, where do they come from, what is their makeup, why have we not been able to pin down a concrete answer as to why they're being found, and is, in my opinion, short of having an alien land on your lawn and walk up and shake your hand, is one of the best pieces of physical evidence that we have today that proves that we are not only being visited, but that we are being physically interacted with. And that brings us today to a couple of new photographs that originally I didn't receive at the same time. And only after some time kind of connecting the dots did I say, okay, something is going on here. And either this is an extremely big coincidence or there's definitely more to the story. So I guess we should start off by going back to late December of 2016. I was going through my Secure Team emails, much like I do every day, and so one of those emails contained a video and some photographs, and it was from a woman out of Greenville, Mississippi, of what amounted to a mysterious, almost what appeared to be a scar that had appeared within only a week's time, at about the middle point of her left forearm. And as you're seeing here, it took on the shape of almost what appeared to be a scar. However, this woman, who at the time was around 27 years old, had never had a scar on her arm, had never had any major surgeries in her life, was by all accounts, luckily unbothered by life's, bumps and mishaps, scrapes and cuts that would lead to such a scar. And so she went to the doctor. She explained to the doctor this appeared within a week. Started as what appeared to be a small white area, then eventually grew out and stopped at the point that you're seeing here. Likewise, there were also some other strange markings just up the arm next to the mysterious scar and what appear to be these sort of crisscrossing lines that you can faintly see here. So the doctor says, well, it's not a tumor. It doesn't seem to be cancerous, and although it took the shape of a scar, the doctor himself knew that this woman had never been cut, seeing as he had been her doctor since she was a child, and having checked her medical records and so on, there was no indicator that she had ever gotten stitches or anything had occurred involving her arm or her forearm. So the doctor's dumbfounded, and he's not able to give her an honest answer. And I don't think I would have to tell you guys the kind of anxiety and suspicion and worry that would come, and that did come, to this woman in the months after this appeared. Now, at the time that I received this video in the email, I had responded to the woman, explaining to her that I would do all I could to help, although I didn't know what I could really do. But I did advise her to go and get an x-ray and to maybe see if there's something under there, if there's something more that can be done, or if she had already gotten an x-ray to send it over. And well, that was the last time I had heard from her. She just stopped emailing me, as many people do. Many people will send me things, send me stories. Some of them seem extremely desperate or worried, and then, very eerily, I will never hear back from them, even after having responded multiple times. And so the email kind of sat there, but it always stuck in my mind, as did the woman's story, because I truly did believe her. But again, what more could I do at that time? And so fast forward to this past week. I was going through my emails and I came across what appeared to be a very similar email and set of circumstances to this young woman from a couple of years back. I had received a photograph of yet another one of these mysterious scars, again said to have developed over weeks and weeks, but not more than a month. And again, on a relatively young woman in her early 30s. Again, on her left arm, however, the only difference was that this scar was on the underside of her forearm, as opposed to the top of the arm, which is where it was found on the original woman from 2016. So you're seeing that new image here, and I'll give you a side-by-side comparison. And I have to say, when I first saw this new email, I thought that it had come from the same woman, because I said, that's the same scar, it's the same size, it's in the same general area, it's on the same arm, and likewise, just above or below it, as in the first video, this woman also had these strange, sort of crisscrossing marks. And like the other woman, and like most people who find these strange markings or feel some, a strange lump under their arms or their necks, in many of these implant cases, they'll go to a doctor. And this time, along with this photograph, I was emailed a screen grab of one of the x-rays taken of the arm at a local urgent care that the woman finally went to, and your attention should immediately be drawn to something that's, well, out of place. The only thing that should be showing up is the bone. And yet what was immediately apparent to the doctor and to the woman was that something was in there. Something, they didn't know what it was, they didn't know how it got there, but something was there. What appeared as a darkened object that the woman had no idea it was there. She didn't feel any lumps. Besides the strange scar that had appeared, she had felt nothing. Some people feel the lumps or feel the objects under there, but she didn't. It wasn't until the x-ray came. And so I've kind of crudely overlaid the x-ray over the woman's arm here just to give you an idea of exactly where this object was found. And you can see that it's almost precisely underneath this mystery scar. Again, I'm using scar loosely, which definitively shows that this object appears to be linked to this mystery scar. And under further examination, and this is according to the doctor, the object seemed, and this was just the opinion of the doctor, although he couldn't know for sure without doing surgery, but that the object seemed to be metallic in nature, some sort of solid metal. And not only that, but that it appeared, again, from looking at the x-rays, that it was sort of, I guess, wrapped in some sort of membrane, nerve cells, otherwise infused with the muscle and the tissue in the arm. And as of right now, they are scheduled to do surgery, and I am going to attempt to try to get some more video and photographs of what was taken out, if they can take it out. Now, why do I say if it can be taken out? Shouldn't things be able to be easily removed? Well, that's not the case when it comes to these mystery implants found in people. You know, there was a doctor, many of you have probably heard of him. His name was Dr. Roger Leir, who unfortunately is no longer with us. However, when he was alive, and to this day, he remains best known for being the alien implant doctor, the doctor who removed these things or attempted to remove these things. He has appeared and been featured in various documentaries, television shows, claiming that he had discovered proof of, quote, non-terrestrial experimentation on mankind. Starting at around 1995, he began examining a couple of women who believed that they were abductees and later extracted 2 small metallic foreign objects from both of the women. The objects were then analyzed by the New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology, which determined that they were, quote, composed of commonly found elements, such as iron or aluminum. And in describing some of these elements, the lab report made reference to the composition of meteors, and that was later interpreted by Dr. Leir as something of an extraterrestrial origin. And that is what sparked his interest into the study and the removal of these objects and how the patients began flooding in. He hired a dentist, a radiologist, and a general surgeon to assist him in his practice. And he claimed that many of the objects he removed from patients emitted a, quote, deep space frequency radio wave and had strange magnetic properties or contained odd crystalline structures. It was reported by the doctor that the findings of these implant surgeries were highly unusual, and that in all of the cases, there was virtually no inflammatory response, other than maybe a small mark on the outside of the skin. As it relates to these 2 new cases that I featured earlier in the video with the 2 females here, it was also found in most of these surgeries that these foreign metal objects had been encased in a very dense, tough, gray sort of membrane. And it's a very tough biological cocoon, if you will, that in many cases made it virtually impossible to remove these implants because the implants themselves had been fused to the very nerve endings within the body. So there would be a massive pain response when attempting to remove them, oftentimes with the patient abruptly stopping the surgery or waking up out of a dead sleep. And so it would seem that these objects are fusing with the very nervous system of many of these individuals. And it looks like that is going to be the case with this new finding here of this woman who has been instructed, even with just a basic observation from her doctor, that this is definitely a foreign object. It appears to have this scar tissue sort of cocooned around it. What really struck me about this was the placement and the size of these marks from these two images from two different females years apart, both with these 1 to 2 inch scars or marks on the tops and or the bottoms of their forearm, almost as if there had been some sort of laser surgery. And I only wish that I could get in touch with the first woman to see if she ever did get those x-rays, and if indeed something was ever found underneath this area. I just hope that she will respond one day and that everything is all right, because I truly can empathize with what it must be like to discover something so strange and unknown in your body. It's just, it's truly an enigma that a lot of skeptics don't like to go near, because they can attack the photographs, they can attack the videos, they can attack the researchers, call us all wingnuts, but when it comes to implants, strangely, you'll hear a lot of these skeptics go silent. And I definitely think that that says something, and that we are on the right track, and that this stuff has always been real. It just depends on what type of person you are and the amount of evidence you need to see before you finally cross that line and have to admit, okay, something is going on here. And so with that, I ask you guys, have you or someone you've known discovered a strange mark, such as these two here, that appeared within a matter of days, weeks, or months that cannot be accounted for? So tell me what you guys think down below. Big thanks to those of you who have sent me in your personal stories, just wanting someone to listen, and I was glad to do that today, and hopefully we can get some answers. So stay tuned, I've got much more coming, and I will see you all back in just a bit.